Not too long ago, I did a video listing what I believe are the top 10 NASCAR wins stolen because of overtime. In the comments, you guys listed off some races that you think should have made the list instead. Also, some of you said there were way too many super speedway races on there. I mean, for me, that's just a byproduct of the Daytona 500 being such a big deal. But you guys make a good point. We need more examples of non-super speedway races. So now, I present 10 more NASCAR wins stolen because of overtime. Non-super speedway edition. And when I say stolen by overtime, just like in the last video, what I mean is if overtime didn't exist and the race ended under caution, this is what would have happened. And for my first example, we don't have to go far back in time. The 2024 Nashville race. Denny Hamlin has tracked down Ross Chastain. With 7 laps to go, he makes his move and takes the lead. By the way, look where Joey Logano is currently running, 16th. Anyway, Hamlin's less than 2 laps away from victory when Austin Cindric spins out, bringing out the caution. Just about everyone's real close on fuel. They had planned to go 300 laps, but overtime's going to extend this race to 331 laps. This shuffles up the order as some pit, others don't. On the restart, would-be second place finisher Ross Chastain crashes and ends up 33rd. Second overtime, Hamlin's half a lap away from the white flag. Nope, here comes third overtime. At this point, we're 20 laps past the scheduled distance. Larson runs out of fuel. Time for quadruple overtime. Hamlin and Truex say, we can't stretch this anymore. They give up their track position. Joey Logano, who now somehow has the lead, is a few hundred feet away from the white flag when the caution comes out again. We're getting a Cup Series record 5th overtime. This time, they make it. Logano stretches his fuel and steals it. Without overtime, he would have finished back in the teens, and Hamlin would have won.
It certainly stinks having, about 15 seconds from a win at the end, and then 10 seconds from the win at the end, and then we finished 12th. So that's just part of it.
2024 gave us another interesting example, the Brickyard 400. Brad Keselowski's leading, trying to stretch his fuel and somehow make it 58 laps. Ryan Blaney's in second, trying to go 48 laps. And Kyle Larson's in third, comfortably able to make it to the end. 3 laps to go. How's this going to play out? We'll never know. Kyle Busch crashes, setting up overtime. Keselowski runs out of gas right before the restart, clearing the way for Larson to move up a row and take the lead this way. A crash sets up a second overtime. Larson gets away on that restart, and they crash behind them. NASCAR decides not to throw a caution for a stopped car until after the white flag, meaning the race ends under caution anyway, and Larson is the winner. Under caution, Brad Keselowski actually managed to stretch his fuel to lap 160, so without overtime, he would be a 2-time Brickyard 400 winner. Keselowski fans, you lose some because of overtime, you win some too. Let's look at another major, the 2020 Coca-Cola 600. Chase Elliott passes Keselowski for the lead with 38 laps to go, and that would have been for the win. Elliott has a comfortable lead coming to 2 laps to go when the caution comes out for William Byron. You can see what Alan Gustafson thinks. Elliott comes to pit road, and he's a very lonely man. That clears the way for Keselowski to win his first Coca-Cola 600 in overtime. Without overtime, Elliott would be a Coke 600 winner. Today, he's still looking to win his first major.
Those guys are going to do whatever the opposite of what you do is, so part of it.
Let's keep this major theme going. Back to the days of 4x3 video and the infancy of overtime. The 2005 Dodge Charger 500, which is basically the Southern 500. Ryan Newman passes Greg Biffle for the lead, coming to 44 to go, and he keeps it the rest of the scheduled distance. But you know what's coming next, right? 4 laps to go, Mark Martin spins, bringing out the caution. Newman stays behind the pace car while Biffle, Gordon, Kane all come to pit road. On the green-white checker, those old tires have nothing for them, and Biffle easily clears Newman to win his first of 2 straight Southern 500s. Without overtime, Newman could have added the Southern 500 to his resume.
You would think with 20-some cars on the lead lap that at least 3 of the guys running last on the lead lap would stay out, but they didn't, and we had those lap cars in between us, and I can't say that it's a bad call by any means by anybody, but I think we had a car that definitely should have won this race tonight, but didn't.
This might make you feel better, Newman fans. The 2017 Phoenix Spring Race. Kyle Busch leads a race-high 114 laps, and he's well on his way to victory until Joey Logano has trouble, and here comes overtime. Busch and several others come down pit road, but Newman and 2 others stay out. On the restart, Larson's coming, but there's contact. That allows Newman to get away, and he holds Larson off to snap a long winless streak and get what would be his final Cup Series win. Without overtime, that doesn't happen, and Kyle Busch would have won.
What's your takeaway from today, Kyle?
Everything's great.
Phoenix has actually had more overtime finishes than any other non-superspeedway track. Let's look at another one, the 2016 Fall Race. Matt Kenseth is about to win his way into the championship 4. He's 1 set of turns away from the white flag. Wait, the 95 has trouble. We're going to overtime. On the restart, there's contact, and Kenseth goes into the wall. Just like that, his championship hopes are over. On the second attempt, Kenseth's buddy Joey Logano gets away and wins his way into the championship 4. Kenseth didn't do much in the championship race the next week, but without overtime on this day at Phoenix, he still would have had a shot at it. All of these stolen wins sting, right? But these next couple really have to hurt. The 2012 Atlanta race. Martin Truex Jr. has been trying more than 5 years to get his second career win. This is his night. He makes the pass for the lead with 44 to go, and he has a 2-second lead coming to 5 to go. Oh no! Jamie McMurray has trouble in front of him.
Man, I sure didn't want to see that caution.
At a worn-out track like Atlanta, everyone needs to come down pit road for tires. Denny Hamlin's crew has a fast pit stop, and he passes Truex on pit road. Truex gets a bad restart, Hamlin pulls away and wins it. Without overtime, they would have continued rolling around under caution. This pit stop wouldn't happen, and Truex would have snapped a long winless streak.
Just wasn't meant to be again, I guess.
Fortunately for Truex, a lot more Cup wins would come. Can't say the same for this next one, the 2013 Richmond Spring Race. It's Juan Pablo Montoya's 7th season in NASCAR. He hasn't won in nearly 3 years, and he's never won on an oval. But is that about to change? He leads with 6 laps to go, but the 11 car is in the wall. Montoya pits before the green-white checkered. Some stay out, some take 2 tires, while he takes 4. Montoya is stuck in the outside of row 3. Kevin Harvick is able to make something happen from the inside of row 4, and in 1 lap, he goes from 7th to the lead, while Montoya ends up 4th. Without overtime, he would have snapped a long winless streak and won his first NASCAR race on oval. Instead, that never happened. This would be his last full season in NASCAR.
When the caution flag came out, what were you thinking? Really? Really?
Let's look at the 2010 Martinsville Spring Race. There's a caution with 9 to go. Still time to get it restarted in regulation. The top 2, Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch, pit, and no one comes with them. That means Jeff Gordon assumes the lead as they restart with 4 to go. Gordon's in turn 4, about to see the white flag when Busch crashes. The green-white checkered is pure chaos for Gordon. Kenseth gets into him, which forces him out of the preferred lane. They're now side by side down the backstretch. Now what's going to happen? Kenseth overdrives the corner, and Denny Hamlin ends up winning after all. 2010 was one of only 3 winless seasons for Gordon. Without overtime, he would have got one here.
The real unfortunate part was that yellow came out with about 100 feet to go to get the white. We had the thing wrapped up.
Speaking of had the thing wrapped up, how about the 2015 California race? It's Kurt Busch's 2nd race back after being suspended for allegations that ended up leading to no charges. He has a great car. Busch qualifies on the pole and leads the most laps. He takes the lead on a late restart with 11 to go. Less than 2 to go. He's on his way to the win when the caution comes out for debris. Almost everyone comes in. Busch has a great stop and gets the lead back on the restart. But the caution comes back out for debris. There will be another attempt. Poor Tony Gibson. On that restart, Keselowski gets past Busch to take the win. Now, Busch would still win twice that season, but without overtime, that win would have come sooner. There are still about 40 more examples of this I haven't covered, so there might be enough for a part 3. Please let me know in the comments if you think there are some I should have highlighted instead. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.